Hey friends, welcome to Northbound Faith for real people. If you're watching this, you probably still love Jesus, you probably still believe in Jesus, and you still want to grow in your faith. But Sunday mornings, that's where everything gets a little more complicated. Maybe it feels heavy for you, maybe confusing, probably painful, and honestly, a lot of people are too embarrassed to say that out loud. See, loving Jesus is pretty easy, but being around people who don't represent him, sometimes that's where the wounds come from. I just want to have a real conversation about that today. No pressure, no shame, no you should be back in church by now, nothing like that. Because you'd be surprised how many sincere Christians I talk to feel this way. Some step away because of burnout, some because of disappointment, some because they've kind of experienced people or organizations or systems that didn't reflect the heart of Jesus. Some because they've experienced leadership failures. Some because they were exhausted from this culture of perfection. Actually, some people even because they've carried wounds for years. Listen, you're not strange for feeling this. You're not less spiritual. You're not in rebellion. Sometimes what people will call backsliding is actually a soul that's been carrying weight that most people don't even know. Stepping away from church isn't always rebellion. Sometimes it's survival. And God knows that about you, even if nobody else does. And let's be honest, there's something about church hurt that's its own kind of pain. It hits deeper because it's tied to trust and belonging and identity and community and God. And when someone hurts you in a store, it's annoying. But when someone hurts you in a church, it has this way of shaking your soul. Maybe your hurt wasn't loud or dramatic. Maybe it was subtle. Maybe being overlooked for a long period of time or feeling invisible or not like you're not good enough. Maybe you were serving till you got burned out and being judged when you needed compassion. Maybe you were just realizing that you were emotionally and physically exhausted and didn't have room in your life. Not all church wounds are loud. Some are like slow leaks that finally empty the tank. And the Bible doesn't dismiss that. Jesus actually confronted unhealthy spiritual environments constantly. He didn't shame the wounded. He actually stood next to them and stood with them. And here's the part that most people never hear. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to breathe. You're allowed to step back if your soul is bleeding. Jesus says in Matthew 11, "Come to me and I will give you rest." He didn't say, "Come to me and get busy," or "Come to me and pretend like everything's fine." He said, "Rest." So grace says, "I see why you stepped back, Josh. You're exhausted. Your exhaustion matters to God. Your story matters to God, and He's not disappointed that you're healing right now. Your value isn't measured by your involvement on a Sunday morning." Let that sit. God is not rolling His eyes because you're tired. He's going to meet you in it. Now, there's another side to this. It's just the truth. Sometimes stepping away from church starts as rest but turns into hiding. Sometimes pain turns into bitterness or disappointments become isolation. Sometimes the break you needed becomes the place you end up getting stuck. And the truth doesn't shame us in that. It actually frees us. See, the truth says that isolation isn't healing, that bitterness is actually a heavy pack to carry, a pack that we're not meant to carry. Walls keep out healing, not just harm. See, you weren't created to heal alone. And some of us, if we're honest, we stepped away because people in the church might have exposed broken patterns in us. I've had that happen. Maybe we were people of avoidance, or maybe we were people pleasers, or had unresolved sin or fear of vulnerability. Maybe we were trying to control everything and we just lost control. And stepping back feels easier oftentimes than dealing with those things. So grace lets you rest, but truth invites you to begin moving again. See, healing doesn't start with jumping into a new church. Healing starts with small, honest steps. So you find a person, just one, somebody you trust, not a crowd, not necessarily leadership, just someone who knows how to listen, but not just listen, someone who also knows how to give you wise counsel, who can be a good listening ear and a good voice. And then have an honest conversation with God. Tell him about the hurt you're experiencing. Tell him the truth about what you're going through, not just the version you think he wants to hear, the version you're supposed to pray. And this is important. God heals what you're honest about, not what you pretend isn't there. And one small rhythm a day can help a ton. Get your Bible app, get the YouVersion Bible app, and just look at the verse a day and just pray and meditate over that verse. Talk to someone about it. Have some time to just reflect on it. Get a couple minutes of silence a day, or find a friend and go to a coffee shop or a park, or go for a walk with them. It doesn't matter. See, healing doesn't require quantity as much as it requires consistency. So begin to release the bitterness. It's not going to be a process you do overnight. You can't force it, but you slowly loosen the grip so that the wound doesn't define you. And it will if you allow it to. See, looking for community is what you want to do, not a system. You don't have to dive back into a busy church schedule. Just start with one connection, then two, then three, then maybe you're at a table again, or maybe in a living room or a coffee shop. See, healing is slow, but slow isn't bad. Slow is actually intentional. And listen, if you're tired or wounded, confused, just try to find Jesus again without all the noise. The reality is that we should not isolate ourselves from people. You might be unsure about Sunday mornings right now. That's okay. Don't isolate yourself from the church, from the true church. Take a break from Sundays. That's okay. You're not faithless. You're just healing. And Jesus meets you in that place. Look, if this is helpful, stick around. I'll see you next time.